It could be for Scotland. Ukraine, of course, hoping to top the group themselves and to claim all the things that Scotland are hoping to do as they field this under-strength side. Full live commentary here on Sportsound and BBC Radio Scotland. Ukraine against Scotland with Stephen Thompson and Liam McLeod.
Yes, we're in Krakow, the Polish city, 2.5 hours from Ukraine's western border. Plenty with the blue and yellow flags out in force this evening. As far as the Scotland supporters are concerned, Richard's spot on. There's a fantastic contingent of them off to our left, a good few thousand bunched in behind the goal to our left, which Craig Gordon looks as though he's going to be keeping in this first half, which is not too long away now. 3 prizes certainly for finishing top. Of course, promotion to League A of the Nations League for 24-25. The other 3 main prizes for finishing top are a guaranteed Euro 2024 playoff in March 2024, should they not finish in the top 2 of their qualifying group next autumn. Secondly, a second seeding for the Euro 2024 qualifying draw. And thirdly, as a fallout of that, a possible playoff lifeline for the 2026 World Cup finals, should the next Nations League follow the same pattern as the last one, as most League A sides qualify automatically anyway. So a playoff berth would be a realistic possibility, going by overall Nations League ranking, depending on who has made it through to the tournament in America, Canada and Mexico as group winners. So there's a good few years on the line tonight for the Scotland team. They're just about ready to go. The Ukraine players have gone into a huddle. Once again, they strode out with the flags draped over their shoulders. As Scotland start with Gordon in goal, Hickey, Hendry, Porteous and Taylor across the back, with McGregor and Jack sitting, McLean, McGinn and Fraser behind Che Adams. The Scots in their change colours tonight, the reverse white and blue, with Ukraine also in change colours tonight. They're all blue. And it will be the Scots to kick off. Left to right as we watch, and the first touch of the ball is Kenny McLean's touch, and he goes back to John McGinn before it's fired down into the corner flag area down on this near side, into touch for a throw-in to the Ukrainians about level with their own 6-yard line. The 5th meeting between these two 2 wins apiece thus far, as the long throw from Mikalenko up this near side ends up on the head of McLean, who nods it forward towards Adams. Remember, a draw more than enough for Scotland this evening. It's going to be knocked up the park there by Dovbek towards halfway as Ukraine tried to get it away, and then there's a late challenge there, and there's no complaints from Vitaly Mikalenko. The Everton left wing back has just brought down Ryan Fraser, so that's a signal of intent from the defenders up against Ryan Fraser, who they know can cause plenty damage.
Yeah, I just hope he's all right, Liam. Took a slow one there, definitely a late challenge. He's limping a wee bit, but back up on his feet, and John McGinn's got an opportunity early in the match to swing one into their box.
The rain tumbling down here. Been a wet evening so far as McGinn's free kick is sent towards the box. It's his poorest one for a while, headed away by the first man in the edge of the penalty area as Hickey collects the scraps and rolls it all the way back to Craig Gordon, who hits it forward with the left boot. It's 1 minute negotiated, Stephen. Could be a long night for the Scotland supporters. It could be a nervy old night for them.
It is going to be nervy, I don't think there's any doubt about that, but as Tom and Richard were saying in the pre-match build-up, you'll take a boring 0-0 right now, but I've got a feeling that Ukraine, because of what's in the line for them, they know they have to win this match, so I'm expecting a kind of furious start from them.
Yeah, draw no good for Ukraine as Adams puts the pressure on the defender, looking to hit them early on here as it's played to McGinn, back to Adams, who shoots, and it's tipped past the post there by Andrei Lunin. Scotland with the first real chance of the game in the 2nd minute. It's fabulous build-up play down the left. They harassed and harried the Ukrainian defenders into conceding possession, and what a chance it was for Adams.
It's a huge chance, a massive opportunity. The pass from Kenny McLean into John McGinn. His first touch just takes him away from the goal. He's only about 6 yards out, and then he couldn't really swivel and hit it. He lays it off to Adams, and the shot's superbly put round the post.
Ryan Fraser to take the corner, as he did with the 2 Dykes goals last week against Ukraine. This time it's headed away at the edge of the 6-yard box. Hickey tries to hit it for goal, doesn't make clean contact. It breaks off a Ukrainian defender, and McGinn on the halfway line puts it out for a Ukraine throw-in down on this near side, which is taken quickly by Mudryk, who we saw has lightning pace in the game at hand, and particularly in the first half last Wednesday. He caused plenty problems down this near side. It was Nathan Patterson who he was up against at the start of that game. Aaron Hickey dealt with him pretty well, actually, after he replaced the Everton fullback.
He's been good since he came into the team, Hickey, there's no doubt about that. Obviously Patterson, you know, disappointed to see him injured, but Hickey's stepped up to the plate massively.
Long ball forward by Matvienko. It's picked up on that right-hand side. They've got an opportunity here. Yarmolenko's out there as well, but they've slipped it into the box for Dovbek, whose little back heel goes straight to Porteous. First real touch of the ball in the senior Scotland side for Porteous, and he gets rid of it. It's out for a throw-in to Ukraine level with the edge of the centre circle inside their own half. It's 0-0, 3.5 in.
He'd be pleased to get that first touch. You're right, Liam, you know, the nerves. I can imagine Ryan Porteous getting his first cap in a match of this magnitude. But just getting your first touch out the way and settling into the game. All right, it wasn't a great second touch in terms of his pass, but just kind of buying his way into the game.
It's back with Lunin, who started against Armenia on Saturday. It was a different goalkeeper last week. It's been a different goalkeeper in the 3 meetings with Ukraine this year that the team in blue and yellow have fielded. As Gordon clears, first time with the left boot, it's come back towards Porteous. Very calm, cool ball forward to McGregor, out wide left for Taylor, and he goes back to Porteous again, and he squares it for Hendry, who was terrific against the Irish in Glasgow on Saturday. It's out with Hickey, long ball looking for Fraser. Mikalenko's underneath it. His header is picked up on this near side. Flag's gone up, the ball's gone out, throw in. Free kicks actually been given, which Mikalenko takes quickly, and he rolls it back to Matvienko of Shakhtar Donetsk, to the Real Madrid keeper Lunin. No goals, 4.5 in. Ukraine supporters, it's maybe about half full, maybe just over that, yeah. I would say. Here in Krakow, the home of Cracovia, this stadium, it holds about 15,000. It's a neat, tidy little stadium. No open ends at all as Ukraine pick up on that right-hand side with Timchik of Dynamo Kiev back into their own penalty area, where it's picked up by Matvienko. Good few of these players not only played Scotland last week, they faced Celtic in the Champions League the week before. That game up in the north of the country, in the capital Warsaw. And it's Matvienko who squares it to his central defensive partner, Zabarny, just 20, a real rising star, the right centre-back for Ukraine. It's picked up in the middle of the pitch here by Ruslan Malinovsky. Slips it out to the right-hand side, there for Timchik, to Yarmolenko, who got the first against the Scots in that playoff semi in June. It's turned back to Stepanenko, who's the anchor in the Ukraine midfield. And he rolls it back to Zabarny inside his own half. It's a long right foot ball, looking to try and play it over the head of Hickey, who reacts well. Mikalenko for company. Hickey gets away from him. He's fouled by Mikalenko, who well, he fouled Ryan Fraser early on with that strong challenge. He avoided a booking there. He's avoided a booking here as well.
He's probably lucky there. It's brilliant defending from Hickey. It really is, showing his strength and then his pace and his composure. Takes the touch past him, brought down. But yeah, you've got a marked man now in terms of the referee.
6 minutes played, Ukraine 0, Scotland 0. Of course, they should have had a man sent off last week as well. It was the centre-back Bondar, who's not in the starting 11, who brought his man down. It was Che Adams, wasn't it, towards the end of the first half last week. As Gordon takes the free kick for the Scots, left-footed to this near side. Underneath it's Mikalenko, and it's flicked on by Dovbek. Yarmolenko flicks it away from Taylor, but Porteous is there to clear. John McGinn wins it back and then to McGregor. McGregor under pressure from Stepanenko. He rolls it back to Porteous, and he goes back to his goalkeeper. 7 in. No goals yet. McGinn, who continues to skipper the side in the absence of Andrew Robertson. And the header looking for McLean, but it was cut out pretty easily in the end. And it's rolled back to his keeper by Mikalenko and cleared by Lunin with the left foot. Mudryk trying to control. Couldn't really do that, but it's worked out for Ukraine. It's Dovbek into the path of Mudryk on this near side. Mudryk back to Dovbek. Porteous all over him, but he's managed to get it back to Mudryk. Left-hand side of the box to the byline, chips it across, and Yarmolenko skies a sitter from 6 yards. He cannot believe it, and Scotland have dodged a big one there. 7.5 in. Ukraine 0, Scotland 0. but Yarmolenko almost had too much time, too much space to think about it.
I mean, I just can't believe he's not hit the target. It's an incredible miss and an incredible let-off for Scotland down this left-hand side. Brilliant interplay, and Mudryk hanging the ball up at the back post. Yarmolenko comes in, he's 6 yards out with the whole goal gaping. He leans back and puts it about 2 feet over the bar. A terrible, terrible miss and a real let-off for Scotland.
Scotland missed so many sitters themselves against Ukraine last week. Put 3 past them, so good recent memories, but that is we're talking about the nervy moments that will come along tonight. That's the first of them. Ryan Fraser is told to get back to his feet by the referee, Dovbek. Now it's with Yarmolenko. He missed that glorious opportunity just seconds ago. He was the man who gave the Ukrainians the lead in that semi-final in the summer. As it's moved back the way over to the far side for Ukraine with Ilya Zabarny. He's got it back again, and he squares it to Matvienko. Ukraine beginning to settle here.
Yeah, they are. I mean, we started well the opening couple of minutes, forcing a few set plays, but yeah, Ukraine have upped the tempo, and as I said, I mean, that's a massive, massive let-off for Scotland there. And incredibly, you know, the amount of space and time that Yarmolenko had at the back post, nobody was on him.
Yeah, Yarmolenko with the nutmeg on McGregor, but his pass forwards cut out by Porteous, who started well, the Hibs defender. So McGregor loses it on the far side, back to Zabarny, and he squares it once again to Matvienko, midway inside his own half, 9 in, no goals as yet. The current scoreline is enough for the Scots. Keep a clean sheet tonight, they top the group. Easier said than done. That looks like offside. It's a long ball forward. Where's the flag? No flag's gone up. Porteous over on the far side, battling for it. They are trying to pinch it back. The cross comes in, and it's gone right through to Craig Gordon. That must have been pretty tight.
Man, I think it was off. I think the referees let the advantage go. I think the linesman eventually did put his flag up. One of those ones where they let it play for ages. It just does everybody's head in. But yeah, I think the referee knew that Scotland were in possession of the ball and just decided to play the advantage.
And it was Timchik down that right-hand side. Here's Jack Hendry. Rolls it out to Hickey on this right flank for the Scots, and he elects to go back to his goalkeeper. And Craig Gordon has it at the edge of his own box. That's us 10 minutes in now. Short ball to Hendry. Level with the edge of the D of his own penalty area, and he squares it to Porteous. Right-footed ball out to Taylor. Took a little bobble, but Taylor manages to knock it forward, yeah.
He did really well to actually control it in the end there, Liam.
His pass went straight to Zabarny though, and now it's back with Lunin, and he plays it short to Matvienko. Out to Mikalenko.
We have been a wee bit slack in possession when we've had the ball in the opening 10 minutes, but here's a chance.
Yep, McGinn rolls it out to Fraser on this near side. Back up the line for Hickey. Infield to McGregor, just goes under his foot and goes to Jack Hendry, who finds Jack, who finds McGregor. I make that Ryan Jack's first touch of the ball. 11 minutes in just about. He's played out to the left for Taylor. He's got space here. Cuts in field and decides to roll it back to his club captain McGregor. He tried to chip it back into the path of Taylor, and it's bounced off a Ukrainian head, and they clear. Breaks back to McGregor, who goes all the way back to his goalkeeper, and Craig Gordon plays it short to Hendry. Walking pace up to halfway, forward to McGinn, and now into the centre circle for Jack. It's better possession from the Scots this. Out to Fraser, forward to McGinn, goes back to Ryan Fraser, he finds Jack. Good movement from the Scots this time. Jack with a little 180-degree turn, as does McGinn, pirouettes away from his man, who was Malinovsky, and now it's back here with Hickey. It's good possession from the Scots though, this, as Ryan Jack picks up on the near side. Back to Hendry on the halfway line. Ukraine can't do any damage to them. The Scots have the ball. As Jack passes it back out to the touchline for Hickey, who has lost it this time to Mudryk. Rolls it infield. Here is Malinovsky. Left-footed low ball for Dovbek. Porteous with a challenge. Again, it's a good one. Breaks back to Malinovsky. His pass goes to Zabarny, who turns it out to Yarmolenko over on that right-hand side. Moves away from McLean, plays the ball to the edge of the box. Dovbek couldn't get it under control. It is back to goal as well. And it's Kenny McLean who goes back to his keeper, and Craig Gordon launches it forward. Adams can't control. It's coming back towards the Scottish defence here. Porteous gets it away. Yarmolenko in an offside position, and he goes all the way back to Craig Gordon again. 12 and a half in, 0-0.
It was a better spell of possession from Scotland just about a minute ago. Kept the ball for a good 30-40 seconds, and you can do that tonight because, you know, we're not under any pressure to go and try and get the goal, and the longer we keep the ball off Ukraine, the better.
Jack Hendry in possession, forward to Jack. His pass is eaten up there by Matvienko though. It's out to the right hand side for Timchik, fancies his chances up against McLean, who makes the challenge, and it'll break back to Greg Taylor. Clears it up the line, it's gone out for a Ukraine throw-in. It's about level with the edge of the D of the Scotland box, over on the far side. The Scotland fans in behind Craig Gordon's goal there, watching on as it's pulled back onto the halfway line for Zabarny, who finds Matvienko in the circle. How are you feeling about things right now, Steve Clark? Stevens down at the edge of his technical area.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously you've got to point out the glaring miss from Yarmolenko, but apart from that, I'm fairly comfortable. We're not really getting tested. The one thing for me is we're not really trying, or we're not getting Che Adams involved in the game at all, or really Ryan Fraser in terms of an attacking force. But to reiterate, we don't need to score this evening.
Hickey battling for it down in this near side and did well to hold off Mikalenko, and it goes out for a throw into the Scots, about level with the edge of the centre circle on this near side, right in front of Steve Clark. With Ian, his opposite number, Alexander Petrovic, are prowling their technical areas down below us. We're right at the back of the main stand, if you like, as Hickey bowls it forward from the throw, looking for Adams, goes out off Mikalenko for a Scottish throw-in again. Aaron Hickey over it, earning his 7th cap this evening. It's the Brentford defender. He's looking for movement ahead of him. He's got some from McGinn. It's the Scotland skipper. McGinn does well, finds McLean, who finds Jack. Left-footed ball out to that left-hand side for Taylor. Infield to McGregor. McGregor finds Jack, who goes back to Porteous inside his own half, and it's a square ball left to right of the circle for Hendry. Hendry out to Hickey on this near side. Hickey, toe poke out to Fraser, who's under pressure. He's got the free kick.
He's lucky.
Yeah, a little bit lucky there. Malinovsky's brought him down after he ran into a cul-de-sac there. He had the ball taken off him, and Ukraine were looking to spring Scotland there.
Well, they were just about to counter-attack, and I felt as though the Ukrainian got plenty of the ball. The referee deeming it a foul, and we'll take that.
Malinovsky plays in Italy with Atalanta, who gave away the free kick. Back to Jack Hendry, got that first goal against the Irish that was so crucial on Saturday for the Scots to keep the momentum going. Here's Greg Taylor, long ball looking for Adams. Adams has it now, he's being met by Matvienko over on that far side. Goes back to McGinn, out wide left for McLean, infield to McGregor. McGregor finds Ryan Jack here, central area, fires it out wide right for Hickey. Good build up from the Scots. Hickey chops inside onto his left. Back to Jack, who goes back to Hickey. Fraser on this near side. Hickey's been caught this time by Mudryk. It's going to be a Scotland free kick. It's about 25 to 30 yards out from goal, 25 yards probably. It's almost bang in line with the angle of the box though, as the yellow card is produced for Mikhailo Mudryk. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably just the amount of fouls there's been in the game. All very similar, all just late challenges. This time on Hickey, but it was good play from Scotland, working the ball from the left-hand side out to the right, very patient build-up. This is a very similar position to the one in the first minute that John McGinn had.
There's your old pal Austin McPhee out on the edge, because this is his speciality, isn't it?
It is.
The set pieces.
It's all about the delivery though. You can work in set plays till the cows come home. You've got to get the ball in the right area.
Again over at one-man Ukraine wall, and a load of players lined up along the 18-yard line. The referee, who is from Greece, is Mr. Sidropoulos, and he's just sorting things out. There's as I say, a group of players that he's keeping his eyes on the 18-yard line. As McGinn takes left-footed, he's overhit that one, he underhit the last one. That's way too much on that one. Goes behind for a goal kick, and it stays Ukraine 0, Scotland 0 on 17.
Yeah, it's unusual for John. His delivery's normally very, very consistent and good, and that's two now from almost in exactly the same position. The first one was flat and hit the first man. The second one, he obviously didn't want to do that again and just puts far too much on it. Goes out harmlessly for a goal kick to Ukraine.
Scotland have it with Taylor on the far side. Finds McLean, who's helping him out over there this evening. And it's swept into the feet of Hendry, right of the centre circle. Crosses halfway, rolls it low out to this near side for Hickey. Hickey's got Fraser, he's taking it himself down that right-hand side, encouraging the challenge up against Mykolenko again, who brings Hickey down once more. It's another free kick given away by Mykolenko, 3 of them, and that's another that goes unpunished other than the free kick.
Yeah, that one was probably even more blazing, right in front of the stand-side linesman here as well. There's no doubt it's a free kick. Scotland players are maybe asking the question, Ryan Fraser's asking the question, why no booking? But again, a really dangerous area, this one. Virtually a corner.
Yeah, he could have been booked for any of the 3 challenges he's committed. McGinn takes, in it comes, it's the goalkeeper Lunan who punches it away. Fraser heads it back in. Smallest player on the pitch, back towards the 6-yard box. Ukraine have enough in the way though. Stepanenko taking it out to this near side. He'll win his, I thought he was about to win his team a throw-in over here, but it's gone Scotland's way. It's about level with the 18-yard line. 18.5 on the clock. No goals, that's fine. That's fine tonight. Short from Hickey to Fraser, back to Aaron Hickey. Hickey sweeps the cross in and it's headed half away, and then Yarmolenko with a bicycle kick clearance from the edge of his own penalty area, as Callum McGregor is adjudged to have given away the foul there just on the edge of the Ukraine box. It's a free kick to the side who are playing their home matches in Poland just now for obvious reasons. They played the other 2 home matches in the group up the road in Łódź. And that's a long one there from Zavarny, which is easily cushioned back with a head by Aaron Hickey to Craig Gordon. 19 minutes in, 0-0.
Yeah, I'm quite comfortable, Liam, and I think obviously we talk about the chance that they've had, but out with that, they've not really been cutting us open, not really been creating other opportunities of note. Neither are we, but we're quite comfortable in the game.
Hendry out to Hickey. Hickey misunderstanding with McGinn, who had a lot to do to get onto it, and he doesn't manage that. It's going to be a Ukraine throw-in, which Mykolenko's taken quickly. He moves it back to Matvienko, who plays it to Zavarny, whose Dynamo Kiev team are playing their Europa League matches in this very stadium. Now it is at the feet of Malinovsky, moving up towards halfway, rolls it forward to Dovbek, who must be offside.
It's going to be
I mean, this is, again, it's a nonsense. Dovbek shoots, up goes the flag. It really is an absolute nonsense.
It's the new pet hate, isn't it? I mean, honestly, everybody in the stadium can see that he's offside.
Dovbek knows he's offside because he's got his shoulder starts slumping. He looks down the ground, he's annoyed with himself.
He knows he's made the run far too early. Everybody can see it, but you wait that 5 extra seconds before the linesman puts his flag up.
Free kick to the Scots. 0-0. So look to seal the Euro 2024 playoff before the draw for those qualifiers is even made. Those groups,
massive, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, this is
so big.
Yeah. I mentioned that the outcome of tonight's match will affect the next 4 years, probably.
To be in pot 2 is just massive. You're missing out teams along the lines of England and France, and you've got that security of the playoff should you need it. Pot 3 is a very different kettle of fish, and in terms of playoff as well, no security there.
Yeah, there's still a sequence of results that could potentially save the Scots if they were to lose this one. Could potentially still get a playoff should teams above them all qualify automatically through the groups. But as Stephen says, there are some pretty big names that you would want to avoid who will be in pot 2 if you are not in there yourself. It's Ukraine in possession with Yarmolenko over on the right, flicks it with the outside the boot. Dovbek's on this time, I think, and he's in on the goalkeeper. He puts it straight at Gordon, who holds on. Had to dive slightly to his right. This time there was no flag, and Ukraine have missed 2 gilt-edged opportunities in the opening quarter of this final Nations League match, which is still 0-0 after 22.
Well, this time he got his movement spot on. The timing of his run was exceptional. The pass through to him even better. He's one-on-one with Craig Gordon. I thought it was the way he just took his time a bit too much, and the recovering defender almost got a back to stop him, but his finish was weak and not straight at Craig Gordon, but certainly didn't test Craig Gordon, who held on to it very, very well.
He had to dive slightly to his right, didn't he, to make the save, but the power wasn't in the shot.
Big chance, though.
It is. Here's Che Adams, squares it to Taylor driving forward. He's got an option to his left if he wants to use McLean. He has done. McLean runs into trouble though, and Yarmolenko with a really strong challenge, left-hand side of the box, and the referee is booking the Ukraine skipper. who's protesting his innocence. Been some really heavy, robust challenges in this game from Ukraine players, and this is another one. We saw it at Hampden last week as well. This time Kenny McLean is brought crashing to the ground, and Scotland now have a free kick a couple of yards from the left-hand side of the box and almost about level with the penalty spot.
There could be no complaints about that one, Liam. I mean, that was a booking all day long. We don't have a monitor up here, and it's on the far side of the pitch from us, but you could see the force that he went in with. Kenny McLean lucky actually, he's got back to his feet. He certainly got a raker down the shin, but you're right, a great opportunity for us. John McGinn not in this one. It's going to be a right-footed free kick from Ryan Fraser.
He doesn't have Dykes to try and find yet. Dykes on the bench this evening. Ryan Fraser waits to take this free kick. The 24th minute. Malinovsky forming a one-man Ukraine wall. Fraser stands over the Scotland supporters up the other end of the stadium, looking on in hope. Fraser with it, he's gone low, it's blocked at the near post. Comes back to Fraser. Fraser left-hand side of the box, and he might get a second chance. Tries to chip it in. That's gone behind. Penalty! Penalty Scotland! Fraser has been brought crashing to the ground in the box, and Scotland have a penalty.
I think it's, yeah, you're right, but I think it's for a handball, Liam. Again, it's on the far side of the pitch, but I think it's actually a handball as the two Ukrainian players go in for it.
Tom was going to get a chance to see a replay, hopefully, of that. There's no monitors, but there is a tablet to our left which someone's watching.
It's now frozen.
The stream, but it's frozen.
Perfect timing.
Listen, it doesn't matter, although the referee's coming over to check it. It's gone to VAR. He's going to come over and have a look at it himself. Pat Nevins to my left, he's shaking his head. He doesn't think this is going to be given. Well, let's have a look. Willie Miller's in the studio.
Liam, it doesn't look as though it's at a hand. You know, the Ukrainian player goes to ground, yeah, but seems to come off his face, I think. We've only seen it once, but, you know, even if it does come off his hands, it's blasted
Here we go.
at him as well.
The refs check the monitor. He comes back on. The decision is no penalty. Corner, is it? Was it a corner? He's waving his hands all over the place. Is he given the penalty? Is he given corner? Drop ball it is. That's exactly what it is. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, it was impossible for us to be able to see the incident from here, but Willie's cleared it up well. The VAR specialist. I mean, he was very quick to point to the spot. He didn't hesitate. He didn't even consult any of his other officials. He pointed to the spot straight away, so he must have thought he'd seen something. But clearly, the VAR's ruled it out.
He pointed just about everywhere, the referee there.
Oh, right.
Anyway, wonder if we can get a little chat with Willie at some point in the near future to see what he's making of things in this match. The scoreline's still nothing each, 25.5 minutes played. Willie Miller watching this, as we heard in the studio back in Glasgow. Willie, what have you made of the opening 26 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously a couple of great opportunities for Ukraine, maybe a little bit of sloppy defending. We spoke about the lack of experience at the back, and I think that's clicked in, but generally Scotland have done well enough. They'll have to just make sure they're more solid at the back.
Well, Aaron Hickey's taking a sore one, and this looks concerning because he was beating the pitch after the challenge. There's another yellow's come out. Ukraine have another player booked. Presumably for the challenge. It was
robust, Liam.
Yeah.
It was a robust challenge. I mean, some of the challenges in this opening 25 minutes from Ukraine have been awful. I mean, all right, they're up for it and they know what they have to do in terms of trying to be aggressive and go and win the game, but that one certainly looked sore, and you could see Aaron Hickey, as soon as the challenge was made, putting his hand up as if to signal it was a bad one. But I think that was just the physio Davy Henderson giving the thumbs up there, so hopefully he's going to get back to his feet, because we really don't want any more of our fullbacks or defenders getting injured.
The fullbacks in particular have been beset by issues in this international triple header. Hickey's back on his feet though, so he's okay for now anyway. The latest heavy challenge from Inatenko, and he joins Mudryk and Yarmolenko in the book as Porteous picks up 27 in, 0-0. The scrappier the better for Scotland, you feel, tonight. Lots of stoppages because of Ukraine challenges. Perhaps not necessarily a bad thing though. It's preventing the Ukrainians from getting into any kind of rhythm as Hickey picks up on this near side. It's a long ball looking for Fraser. Dreadful attempted control by Mikalenko, but Adams with a heavy touch, and that allows Ukraine back in to win it. And it's a foul by Che Adams, and that's a free kick to Ukraine at the edge of their own box. 0-0, 27 and a half.
He's not been involved in the game hardly at all, Che Adams, and maybe just not getting enough touches of the ball. It is very, as you mentioned, the rain out there, it's very slippy, it's very greasy, the surface. Maybe that's a contributing factor to the amount of fouls there's been, but yeah, just a heavy touch there from Che Adams.
Zabarnier has it, and he just squares it to the other side of his box. Low ball to Matvienko. Long ball from him, goes straight to Hendry, who's found Jack. Cushion header from McGregor. Mudryk trying to get back at him. Fired out to McLean, who puts it back. High ball back to Taylor. Controls on the chest under pressure there from Dovbek. As Porteous finds Hendry. Now it's with Hickey down this right-hand side. Again, he's challenged by Mudryk. He kind of almost pulled out of that challenge. He's on a yellow. Ryan Jack picks up and finds Hendry on the halfway line on the near side. Poor ball given away, but Ukraine aren't doing much better with it right now. A couple of dodgy moments for Mikalenko there, as Hendry picks up on this near side. And he's under no pressure right now, 0-0 in the 29th minute of the game here in Krakow. Moved back by Hendry to his goalkeeper, Craig Gordon. 30 clean sheets in his 72 caps, Craig Gordon. Hoping to make it 31 tonight. If he does so, Scotland win the group.
He's been so dependable, hasn't he? He really has been a top goalkeeper for Scotland over the years, and this particular spell of games that he's been on, he's been exceptional.
Ukraine in possession, rolled forward out on that far side by Inatenko. And it's now with Taylor, who finds Porteous, and out wide left for McLean. McLean looks up, plays it into the midfield for McGregor. McGregor gets away from his man, shuffles it out to McGinn on the left, back up the line for Taylor. Infield for McGregor, back into the centre circle for Jack. Jack then rolls it out to Hickey wide on the right. Adams makes a move ahead of him. That's where it goes. It's now at the feet of Adams at the byline, tries to cut it back, and then it goes behind off the defender for a Scotland corner. 30 minutes just about into this game. A third of it has just about come and gone. And Scotland with some really good movement there, good passing, and they've got the corner here.
Yeah, another corner for us, you're right. The movement from Che Adams was good. In to out, coming out of the box. Feels like maybe could get his cross in a wee bit quicker. Consorted defender, and we'll take the corner.
In swinger from McGinn coming up from this Scotland right-hand side. Off to our right, Scotland attack the goal to the right. John McGinn with his right hand in the air. Now he takes, left-footed. It's a deep one. The goalkeeper thought about coming, changed his mind, and it goes off a Ukrainian head. It's Yarmolenko, and behind for another Scottish corner, this time over on the Scotland left, to be taken by Fraser.
Jack Hendry just protesting to the referee there. Felt as though he might have been impeded, I think, but it was a dangerous ball in from John McGinn. It's a corner we've seen a lot under Steve Clark, into the back post.
Fraser clips it in, it's decent, it's headed up into there by Stepanenko, more height than distance. McLean keeps it alive, breaks to the left-hand side, and it's scooped high over the bar by Ryan Jack. What an opportunity it was. All he needed was a calm, past finish into the bottom corner, but he puts it over the crossbar. 31 in, Ukraine 0, Scotland 0.
Well, that's us now, had two decent chances of our own. Che Adams at the very beginning of the match, and then that one there for Ryan Jack. Again, you're thinking he's got to hit the target. It came on quite quickly, and yes, it's greasy, and he had to react quickly on his left foot, but hit the target. You're only 7 yards out, scoops it high over the bar.
Scotland free kick for a foul by Dovbek on Porteous inside the centre circle. McGregor takes it quickly, finds Jack, who had a great opportunity there to score his first international goal. It's Hickey to Ryan Jack again. Jack under pressure, couldn't quite get it back to Hickey, and it bounces off the Scotland man and out for a throw-in to Ukraine on this near side. Their coach Petrakov's in a hurry, he's jogged to get the ball back, forgetting that there's a ball boy down there returning another ball to play almost immediately. Petrakov, I think the Jungle Drums are suggesting that if he doesn't win this game tonight, his time as Ukraine coach will be over. As Porteous pumps it long forward, the header from Matvienko up towards halfway, and then it's nicked forward by Inatenko. He comes right through to Hendry. He can't go back to his goalkeeper. That route was closed off by Dovbek. It's moved out to Hickey, he's challenged by Mudryk, and out it goes for a Scotland throw-in.
Wasn't the best ball from Jack Hendry.
Aaron Hickey's just said exactly the same thing to him.
Yeah, I don't think he was overly pleased with it, but he did well enough to protect it and force the Ukrainian defender or striker to put it out for a throw-in. But yeah, not a great ball.
Ukraine in the midfield, lovely back heel there from Malinovsky. Inatenko out to the right-hand side, picked up by Yarmolenko, who gets it from Timchik. Yarmolenko rolling it back to Inatenko, and into the left of the centre circle for Matvienko. Forward to Dovbyk, out to Mikalenko on this near side. 33 now on the clock, 0-0. Steve Clark's out, shuffling his defenders around, telling them where they should be. As Mikalenko goes back the way, and it's picked up right of the centre circle with Zavarnier, and infield to Inatenko. Zavarnier has it on the halfway line. Short to Inatenko, he gets it back immediately. And out to that right-hand side. Ukraine have it, a couple of 1-2s there, and they've managed to get up the pitch, and now Malinovsky's driving right-hand side of the box, he's in it now, drags it back onto the left, loses the momentum. Timchik trying to keep it alive, then Yarmolenko doing likewise over on the far side. He has it against Taylor, low ball through the legs of Taylor, but it breaks for McGregor. 34th minute, 0-0, but another nervy little moment for the Tartan Army there.
Yeah, it was good football actually, you have to say, from Ukraine. I mean, it eventually did fall to Malinovsky. I felt as though he could get his shot away, tried to cut inside, and at which point in time he managed to get two recovering defenders around him. It's a good ball.
It's a great ball out to Mikalenko on the left-hand side of the Scotland box. First time cross comes in over Craig Gordon, but beats everyone, and then it bounces off Taylor and goes behind for a cheap Ukraine corner.
Yeah, the quality of the ball out to this left-hand side was absolutely sensational, over the top of Aaron Hickey's head. Delivery in from Malinenko. Nobody was there, and Greg Taylor probably should have taken a better touch. A wee bit heavy with his touch on the surface again, probably partly to blame. And it is a needless corner.
Malinovsky is going to take it. In swinger with the left foot right in front of the Scotland supporters. Another chance here perhaps for the Ukrainians. Mudryk goes out as a short option, but this is coming into the box. It's swung in, and the header's wide from Stepanenko. It went over Porteous, but the ball goes wide of the left-hand post, well wide in the end, as we move in towards the final 10 minutes of the first half here in Krakow, but it's Ukraine 0, Scotland 0.
I tell you, Liam, that's a massive chance. A massive chance. I mean, the quality of the ball was superb. It was Stepanenko, I think kind of our defence jumped under it a wee bit, but Stepanenko at the back post, he's unmarked, he's got a free header, he's not having to do too much in terms of jumping for it. It just sclaffs off the top of his head and goes wide, thankfully.
Good play by Jay Adams over on that left-hand side. He goes down, no free kick. Ukraine move it back the way to the keeper, and it's Lunin who plays it forward. Good control, Malinovsky. Dovbek's offside again.
Yep, but we've not seen a flag go for a while.
We can watch this play itself out as Dovbek rounds the defender, shoots, it's blocked. Gordon now holds on, and up goes the flag. Who came up with that rule?
I don't know.
Seriously.
But they need the sack. I don't know what's...
And now Porteous has been injured because Craig Gordon, just in the wake of that, I think landed on him as he tried to catch the ball. Even though everyone inside this stadium knew that was going to be offside.
Yeah. It looked to me like the ball hit Porteous' hand on the ground, but it might have hit his face, because he's certainly kind of rubbing his nose, unless he's doing one of the old fake it, hit my face, not my hand ones. But you're right, I mean, as soon as that ball's played through, we're perfectly in line with it. Everybody can see it's offside. And you're right, somebody is going to get injured, because as it plays on, you've got a last-ditch tackle there from Porteous, and you know, one of these days somebody is going to get injured because the referee's played this, or the linesman's played this ridiculous rule of letting the game go another 5, 6, 7 seconds there.
It seems that that particular aspect of the offside rule has been extended in time rather than reduced, which is what it should have been, because even the shorter gaps up until this season were potentially dangerous.
I mean, I get it if it's mega tight, but the ones that we've seen this evening have been blatant, and the linesman sees them, so just flag.
Well, they're just following the rules, I guess. So Lunin picks up inside his own 6-yard box, short ball to the right, long from Zabarnier into the Scotland half. Porteous with a good header, beating Dovbek, but it's going to go out for a Ukraine throw-in. Kenny McLean couldn't keep it in play as we tick through another minute. 37 on the clock, nothing each.
Yeah, I mean, if we hold on to half-time, Steve Clark will be very pleased. all right, we've not looked a creative force, we've not played brilliant football, but we don't have to tonight. A couple of nervy moments, 3 big chances actually for Ukraine, but 0-0 suits us.
Yeah, Yarmolenko, Dovbek and Stepanenko missing glorious opportunities. You do wonder if it's perhaps your night, if they are missing golden opportunities like that. Porteous goes down, and that's a free kick, although I think he tripped over the ball on that occasion. Yarmolenko with the challenge, and he was looking a little bit nervous there because he's already on a yellow.
Yeah, I think Porteous kind of buys it a wee bit, but yeah, Yarmolenko needs to watch what he's doing, him amongst others.
Ukraine have 3 players on yellow cards. Hendry gets it from Porteous. He rolls it out to Hickey on this near side. Low ball forward for Ryan Fraser. Back to Jack. His pass forward just bounced off Mikalenko, and it breaks back to the Everton man here, who's in possession. Left-footed ball forward, looking for Dovbek. Gets a brilliant touch onto it with the chest up against Hendry. Takes it away from Jack Hendry. Hickey trying to stay with him, but it's Dovbek down the left. Looks up in the box. He's got options now. Drops the shoulder. Plays it low with the left foot. It's cut out by McGregor, who clears his lines for Scotland. It will stay nothing each on 38.5.
He did well, the big striker there. Just nicked in front of Jack Hendry. Lovely touch, taking him down into the wide area. He was going to put it in when he looked up. There was only one in the box. I mean, Ukraine were hardly kind of breaking their necks to make the box, and then eventually gave it away with a really slack ball as he tried to pick somebody out.
Yeah, Matvienko looking for Mikalenko down the left. He's found him as well in space. Low ball comes in, and then it's fired well wide by Malinovsky, who I think had lost his bearings somewhat there. He's put it well past. I think he thought the goal frame was right in front of him. 39 played. It's 0-0, but it's another chance for Ukraine.
Yeah, you have to put that down as an opportunity, Liam, no doubt about it. Malinovsky. Yep. Yeah, he's at the near post. He's trying to just maybe get a deft touch on it. He's probably about two metres past the front post. He's got to get some sort of angle on it, but caught it a bit flush, thankfully for us. And even if he'd left it, I think it was Dovbek that was in behind him, had an opportunity to get it, but he got it all wrong.
Scotland playing this match in this 15,000-seater stadium. They normally play their matches in Kiev or Lviv, in their homeland when it is possible. And if they were playing it in the Olympic Stadium in Kiev, then that's 55,000 noisy Ukrainians.
Certainly making enough noise, the crowd.
They're actually playing their domestic league season just now, Ukraine, in the country behind closed doors. All the teams that are from the east of Ukraine are playing in the west. Of course, to end the season last year, no title awarded, as the Ukrainians pick up here with Ilya Zabarnie. Low ball out to the right there for his clubmate Timchik. Back to Zabarnie again. It's attracting interest from some big clubs, Chelsea included. Zabarnie is on the ball again here. Right hand side of his own half, low ball forward. Malinovsky's finding a lot of space just now, incidentally. Malinovsky out to Yarmolenko on the right, up against Taylor, level with the penalty spot. McLean coming back to help out as well. It's rolled back the way, the cross comes in, flicked away by McGregor. Last for goal by Stepanenko with the left foot. Dovbek was very close to getting a touch onto that. He just moved away from his defender, his marker, round about the penalty spot as it flew past him and past Craig Gordon's goal. 41 in the clock. Ukraine 0, Scotland 0. Scotland goal kick.
It was a good hit from Stepanenko. It was never going on target, and you're right, Dovbek just peeled off. I mean, I think he might have been borderline offside. All he needed was a touch to try and divert it past Craig Gordon, but I think there was so much pace in the ball, it was past him before he could even see it.
Dovbek got the 3rd Ukrainian goal at Hampden in June. He also scored the winner against Sweden in the last 16 of Euro 2020, also at Hampden. They were eventually beaten by England in the quarter-finals in Rome. As John McGinn picks up, it's under pressure. 4 Ukrainians around him, and Malinovsky's won it back. He's having a good game, Malinovsky. McGregor this time is opposite number 8, toes it away from him and out for a throw-in over on the far side. They're beginning to look dangerous again, Ukraine, just in the last few minutes. 42 minutes just about played. We move ever closer to the interval. John Carver's joined Steve Clark in the technical area down there. The rain has gone off as Yarmolenko picks up over on the far side and rolls it back into his own half for Stepanenko. And he plays it to his right for Zavarnie. midfield for Inatenko. Into the left of the centre circle for Matvienko, forward to Mudryk. The number 10, he's pinged it all the way out to the right, there's nobody there. The cross comes in and it flies over Craig Gordon and behind for a corner. It took a really bad deflection there. In fact, the goal kick's been given. The Ukraine player's arms outstretched, appealing the decision. Looked a corner all day long.
It's a remarkable decision. Again, you know, favouring us. We'll not complain about it, but how the referee and the linesman have missed that. I think it came off Greg Taylor. It's a massive deflection and it almost, as you rightly say, went in at the back post and to the top corner of Craig Gordon's right-hand post. But I mean, yeah, how the officials have missed that.
Greg Taylor was in a bit of bother there, wasn't he? There was nobody marking out on the far side. Is it good Ukraine movement? Or
Yeah,
is it Greg Taylor playing too central there?
It probably was a wee bit narrow, but yeah, I mean, you're right to point out that in this last 10-minute spell, we have been under the cosh a wee bit in terms of Ukraine.
That's a bad header by Henry, straight to Malinovsky, rolls it to Yarmolenko to his right. Yarmolenko up against Greg Taylor, holding off the Celtic defender. Yarmolenko forward to the edge of the box for Malinovsky, back to Yarmolenko over on that right-hand side. Minute and a half left of the first half. It's a brilliant challenge by Porteous at the edge of his box. And now it's McGregor rolling it out to Kenny McLean. He's lost it though to Timchik. And it's moved into Inatenko, who plays it back into the centre circle for Matvienko. Out to Malinovsky on that far side. Need to get a handle on him. Get a hold of Malinovsky. He's dictating things at the moment. We're in the final minute of the first half. 0-0. It's Matvienko playing it to Zavarnier. And then over to Stepanenko. Dink ball forward looking for Mudryk. And it was Malinovsky. Then cleared by Callum McGregor with the left foot into the Ukraine half. Some serious pressure the Scots having to deal with.
Yeah.
Looking to just get to the half-time interval with the scores blank.
Yeah, 100%. Liam, only just hold out another 30 seconds or so, but some decent defending in amongst all that. Hendry and Porteous stepping in at the right moments and nicking the ball off the Ukrainian toes.
Porteous has been excellent.
Yeah, he's a good first half.
And is Ukraine in possession. Big night to make your international debut. Ryan Porteous doing that this evening. Long ball out to Mikalenko on the near side. He controls in the chest, moves it back onto the chest of Matvienko. I make that 45 minutes up. There's going to be some injury time here. There was an injury to Hickey earlier. Long ball forward. Hickey just holding off his man and seeing it behind for the goal kick. And there is 2 minutes being added on at the end of the first half, which is goalless.
Excellent defending again from young Aaron Hickey. Really, really good, using his pace, his positional sense, getting his body in there.
Ticking towards the break. Kind of team talk Steve Clarke got now?
I mean, I think he'll be concerned that the opportunity have created in this opening half. Maybe the fact that we've not looked a threat, but at the same time, we don't have to score, as I've said a couple of times through this first half. I think he'll be reasonably pleased.
Long from Gordon out to this near side. It's gone out for a Scotland throw-in. I think that came off either Mudryk or Mikalenko. Scotland throw-in right in front of the Ukraine dugout. And it is Aaron Hickey who is over it. He's looking for some movement. He got some from Ryan Fraser. He's had a quiet game, we have to say. A couple of little moments for him. The final third hasn't been where Scotland have played much of this first half, albeit they've had a couple of opportunities themselves, and of course they were initially awarded a penalty by the Greek referee before it was rescinded after a VAR check. Ukraine throw-in, and it's dumped up high into the air, into the midfield. Porteous in the halfway line gets his head onto it. Now it's moved out high out to Yarmolenko over on that far side. It's gone out of play though. Scotland throw-in. And we're in the final 20 seconds of the stoppage time here in Krakow. Nothing each. Thrown to be taken by Greg Taylor. It's the rain on again.
Yeah, it's quite heavy now.
Yeah. It's about midway inside their own half with Greg Taylor. Forward it goes. McLean tries to flick on, doesn't get much on it though. And the referee ends the first half. And as things stand, Scotland will top this Nations League group because it's goalless. A goalless draw. More than enough for them to finish top of this section, and all the rewards that will come with doing so. They've had to ride a little bit of a roller coaster at times though, because Ukraine should have scored at least 3 times in that first half. Yarmolenko, Dovbyk and Stepanenko, all with glorious chances to put the Ukrainians into a lead. Malinovsky also shot wide. Scotland have had a couple of opportunities themselves. Che Adams in the opening couple of minutes of the game saw his shot saved after a good tee-up work by John McGinn, before Ryan Jack, just beyond the half-hour mark, had a chance at the right-hand side of the 6-yard area. On the turn, he tried to swivel and shoot for a goal, but he shot it over the crossbar. And that would have been a big moment for Ryan Jack, and it would have been a big moment for Scotland. Half-time in Krakow. So far, so good. Ukraine 0, Scotland 0.
Scotland in the UEFA Nations League.
It's absolutely brilliant from Scotland!
This is Sports Sound
From BBC Radio Scotland.
My story deals with my dad, who was an army medic in the Second World War.
To coincide with the centenary of the BBC, we're sharing the tales from your family that just have to be passed down to the next generation.
Our own animal lodgers started to be a bit more exotic. Marmosets in the living room, stick insects and a large spider in my bedroom.
Listen to the stories so far and share your own by heading to bbc.co.uk/Radio Scotland.
I was struck too by the views of the Fife Coast, which I saw from such a height.
100 years of Scottish stories across 2022 on BBC Radio Scotland.
You're listening to Sports Sound with me, Richard Gordon. A very good evening, wherever you are, wherever you're listening in this evening. Right now, all the objectives are being ticked. That scoreline means Scotland top League B, Group 1. They are promoted into League A. They'll go into the playoffs for Euro 2024, and they'll also go into the second pot of seeds for the draw, which took place in a couple of weeks' time. 0-0 at half-time with the Miller. What have you made of the performance?
Some good and some bad. Richard, I don't think we've had too many opportunities. Adams and Ryan Jack, I think that's about the sum of it. Both difficult chances. At times we've had the control of the midfield, at other times we haven't. We've looked a little bit disjointed at times, in my opinion, at the back. I think I probably expected that. The inexperience of the players, the makeup of the back four. They've had 3 good chances. I mean, Yarmolenko's chance. How's that not a goal? I just don't understand how he manages to put that one over the bar. He just has to caress it into the back of the net.
And knowing the kind of player he is, well, that's exactly what you anticipate him doing, isn't it?
Yeah. And it should have been. And that's an example of Greg Taylor getting sucked in, not passing a player on, the 2 centre backs not communicating with each other. Listen, I don't think we should be surprised at that, because it is a new back four put together, a drop of a hat, and there has been holes there. In the other 2 opportunities, Dovbyk, who runs in behind Porteous, again 2 centre backs not communicating. I didn't feel, and then Stepanenko, it was Porteous, it was marking him as well. So you have got an experienced centre back there. I think at times he's done well, but I think as a unit, as a group, they haven't shone. I don't think the understanding's been there. They've been dragged out of position in a number of occasions, but we've survived it. I think that's the good news. And at times we've had control of the ball and control of possession. And when you're away from home in horrible conditions by the look of it, and a pitch that looks a bit kind of a leg sapping, it looks as though it's going to sap your energy and take it out of the players. I think we can be happy at 0-0, that's for sure. At half time I think it could be much worse.
It is a back four that has not played before, that's inexperienced. Leanne, at international level, have we seen that in some of the openings that Ukraine have created?
Yeah, we have, and I think the reason why we've seen it as well is that I think when you're that central too, at times you see it in midfield a lot of the time, is that you want to pull people in to protect you. You want to pull, whether it's your wide midfielders in the middle of the pitch, whether it's you want as centre backs to pull the full backs in, and I think that's exactly what's happening with Scotland. At times I don't think they're brave enough to go and defend the 1v1 situations. I think they're worried about those penetrative passes centrally, which is fair enough. and to a point, they've probably limited Ukraine well enough. I think that last 10 minutes of the second half is where Ukraine grew into it. Yes, they've had a couple of really good, strong chances that they were disappointed they didn't take. But I thought for maybe 25-30 minutes, Scotland looked in reasonable control of the match.
Yeah.
It is just those moments at times, if you feel there's a bit of vulnerability within the team, you tend to err on the side of caution, and that at times can be detrimental to the way you're trying to play it. Then, brings your midfield a bit deeper, a bit too early. It takes the pressure away from Adams being able to be effective and to allow Fraser and McLean to go and join him in the press. And all of a sudden, in the midfield, you feel very detached in terms of that front line. So those are probably the moments that if you were Scotland getting in at half time, yes, they've been okay, and I don't think they've been stretched too much, but can you go and tighten things up? Can you go and initiate the press a bit higher up the pitch? Or if you're allowing Ukraine to come in and travel with the ball centrally, can you lock on a bit more and actually force them into playing those types of passes that you can go and win it back before they manage to go and isolate players in 1v1 situations in wide areas, which is where they've kind of had their luck in those balls that have come across the box that have been deadly.
I mean, we talked a fair bit, I'll come to you in a minute, Tom, but we talked a fair bit about Ryan Porteous beforehand. It's been a bit of a mixed bag, hasn't it? He's been cut out of position a few times, but he's done some good things.
Yep, some good things, some good moments, a couple of moments that he's been sucked in, essentially, while he was looking at that, certainly his position specific. At times maybe you could just pass the player on rather than tracking into the centre of the pitch where he's been dragged in. Then he doesn't get the touch and the space is then in behind him. Again, that's just probably a bit of naivety and probably desperate to not make a mistake and desperate to stick with your player at times, and there you just need players around you to support you to make a better decision. But he's had a couple of good moments where he stepped in, intercepted the passes, just taking care of business. I don't think tonight Ryan Porteous needs to try and be anything other than his basic self, and by that I mean don't do too much, don't try and do things that you wouldn't do day to day at club football. Just do your defensive duties if and when required, win the ball back where you can and get it into the middle of the park for the ball players that can go and utilise it.
Incidentally, the other game in the group, Republic of Ireland 1, Armenia 0. That's irrelevant as things stand with Scotland. John Egan with the goal for Ireland, and Northern Ireland are 1-1 at half-time away to Greece. As things stand, that would see them avoid relegation into League D. Tom English with us then. You'll be getting your piece ready for the website. It'll be lengthy and engrossing and interesting. As it always is.
Will it?
No pressure.
Lengthy, yes. Engrossing, I'm not so sure.
bbc.co.uk/sportscotland. Only halfway through, so you've got no idea what the top line, what the story, what the headline is going to be. But one or two things they'll be formulating in your mind at this point.
Well, look, so far so okay. Scotland are surviving in the match. I mean, they have been under serious pressure at times. How could it be anything but, given it's a makeshift defence? But they're surviving, and they're thanks to Yarmolenko for missing an absolute sitter, and Dovbeek for missing a really good chance, and Stepanenko the same. 3 really good chances. All gone. Long may that continue from a Scotland perspective. But I think if they keep making the chances, you gotta think they're gonna get lucky once. Scotland going to get unlucky once, and Scotland are offering very little down the other end, which is kind of troubling. That said, it's 0-0 and its job is half done. I also think Ukraine are lucky to have 10 men on the park.
Well, I was going to come to that. So Yarmolenko. And then Ignichenko within about 4 minutes of each other with...
Yep.
I mean, they were actually both red card offences, weren't they, McLean and Hickey?
I think both of them were nasty tackles. And if
VAR has to look at that.
Yeah.
And they've decided that...
Or maybe it has in the background. It's just,
they will have looked.
They've looked at it and they've deemed them both yellows. I'm surprised that they've deemed both of them yellows. I think they were both really dangerous tackles.
Yeah.
And if they were both given as red... I'm not sure you would have had too many complaints about. Ukraine would have complained, but any neutral would have looked at that, I think, and said, geez, that's probably a red, both of them. So, and I tell you, McLean and Hickey, they're both lucky enough to be on the park because they could have been taken out of the match. So I think Scotland have been a bit unlucky in that regard, that they're not playing against 10, and Ukraine are are lucky that they've still got 11. But if they keep doing that, and the referee, I'm not impressed with the referee at all. We were talking about this. You know, he's given Scotland a penalty, which is like it's a ridiculous decision. He's given a goal kick when it should be a corner.
Clear corner.
Clear corner.
He's allowing. Now is it Mikolenko who's had a. Malinovsky's had a couple as well. I mean,
Mudryk had about 3 in the opening stages, didn't get a booking. He's missed. He's given yellow where he could have given red. So he's missed a lot. This referee wouldn't be entirely convinced about him.
I don't think I've ever seen another match in which there have been so many occasions where, and we all understand that the directive is the linesman. You keep your flag down. Just in case a goal transpires and you've called it wrong. But there have been so many glaring, clear-cut offsides that have been allowed. I mean, you can hear Liam and Tomo, laughing in the commentary. I mean, the Ukraine are breaking away and everybody knows they're offside.
Liam's going to blow a gasket if this continues. And I can understand why.
Because he's blown one.
He must have many gaskets, Tomo, because he has blown.
I think he's
multiple.
only got a couple left.
He
needs them for the second time.
But yeah, look, I mean, there's at least a couple that I can remember, which is just clearly offside. In real time, you can spot it a mile off, and look, it is frustrating. The lads are right. They're saying one of these days there's going to be an injury. Do we have to wait for that to happen for this to be looked at as a rule?
Look, I don't think, given the way it is, and because we've got VAR, we can accept it. We can understand that when it's marginal or almost marginal. But these are just a double-decker bus offside.
Yeah, no, it's strange. It's strange. It's actually a game tonight you could play without the assistant referees.
Yeah.
Because they've given nothing. Even the decision that should have been a corner for Ukraine that was completely missed came off the shoulder of Taylor. Your assistant referees right in line with that, doesn't see it. Offsides, isn't allowed to give them, doesn't flag, zero input, in the decision making around the yellow cards, FB red cards. So no, they should have just taken the night off. The referee could have clearly managed this game on his own with a team of VAR assistants if they ever want to pipe up at some point would be good.
I tell you who I wish would take the night off, Leanne, is this stadium announcer. Yeah. He has been non-stop. Can you hear him? Can you guys hear him?
Oh yeah.
Constant.
He has been non-stop. It's doing my head in.
Is he worse than the announcer that St Mirren have? Tomo.
He can't hear you.
He can't hear me.
Sorry, what did you say?
Willie was suggesting that the lad at Paisley is perhaps the loudest in Scotland, but this guy seems to be even louder.
Yeah. No, this guy's in a different
Yeah, I can hear players gee whiz. Players just re-emerging. Willie, you looking for better, more of the same? What are you looking for in the second half from Scotland's point of view?
Well, it's difficult because a draw, doesn't it? It gets a result that we need. Does a manager go and make changes when it's as tight as this? Does he ask them? I mean, I think John McGinn is playing kind of a too high up. I think he's uncertain, where he has to make the press. So, no, I mean, so far, so good. We've rode our luck, I think, in the first half with 3 chances, but do we need to improve in the second half? We just need to do the same, don't we? And if it finishes 0-0, we're there.
Fingers crossed. It is goalless at half-time. Back to Tomo and Liam.
Second half about to start here. A huge 45 minutes of football for the Scotland team here. The fifth meeting between Scotland and Ukraine. The first was in October 2006. Walter Smith's side lost 2-0 in Kiev. Stephen Presley was sent off, Shevchenko among the goals. The rematch came a year later under Alec McLeish in Glasgow. The Scots' first game after beating France in Paris. Miller, McCulloch and McFadden scored in a 3-1 home win. Shevchenko scored again in that one. One of the many Ukrainian legends that we've seen over the last couple of decades. It will be Ukraine who'll get the second half underway, left to right, wearing their blue change kit with the yellow flashes. Scotland in their change colours as well, of all white with navy flashes. And the referee's just about ready to go. The Greek with the whistle. Here we go then. Ukraine kick the second half off. No changes to either team for the start of the second half as the long ball out to Yarmolenko's flicked on towards Dovbeck, as it breaks back to Porteous. He goes back to his keeper, and Craig Gordon hits it with the left foot. Here's John McGinn. The Scots were exceptional in the second half against Ukraine last Wednesday.
It really was. I mean, for me, I think that's the best performance I've seen under Steve Clark. I thought the team, to a man, were absolutely outstanding.
And here's McGinn looking to put it into the path of Fraser, but he didn't get enough on the pass. And Ukraine dig it out. It's with Mikalenko over on that left-hand side. His long ball up the lines, won back by Hickey. Hickey driving forward. He runs into Inatenko though, but Jack wins it back for the Scots. Out wide right for Fraser. To McGinn. A little dummy from McGinn. Here's McGregor. And now it's Taylor. Takes a touch. Shoots for goal. It's over the bar from Greg Taylor, who apologises to Kenny McLean. He gives him the thumbs up in response, because Kenny McLean would have done exactly the same thing. Yeah, 46 played 0-0.
And I think Kenny would have hit the target, you know that. But it was good build-up play, a nice wee dummy from John McGinn, and it came to Greg Taylor. It opened up beautifully for him, and you're just thinking, go and hit that. But he leant back, and a couple of metres over the bar, unfortunately.
Doesn't score many, Greg Taylor. As Malinovsky smashes the ball forward, it's going to come all the way through to Craig Gordon, who's earning his 73rd cap. He's gone above Tom Boyd now in the all-time cap list. Hickey, Hendry, Porteous and Taylor across the back. McGregor and Jack in the engine room, with Fraser, McGinn and McLean behind Adams. It is Scotland in possession with Gordon. Low ball to his right for Hendry. He dinks the ball into the midfield. It's going to go back to Ukraine though. He's well read by Malinovsky. He's been an impressive operator tonight. Now down the right-hand side goes Timchik, who was a goal scorer against Armenia at the weekend. Forward to Yarmolenko, but it's a heavy touch and it goes out for a Scotland throw on this near side. Goalless in Krakow.
Yeah, let's hope it ends that way, Liam.
It will be enough. Throwing down on the near side for Taylor, for McGinn. Does well, good strong play, finds McLean. And onto the chest of Adams. He's lost it though, and that's a trip. That's a free kick to Ukraine, as he brought Zabarnier crashing to the ground midway inside the Scotland half, over on the right-hand side.
Struggled to have an impact. You know, I thought he was really good in the last game against Ukraine, but tonight he's looked a wee bit laboured, not getting his usual energy level.
And he's had the sickness bug that was in the camp over the weekend. Both Adams and Dykes look like they might well be doubts for this game at one point. Dykes on the bench, Adams up front right now as Yarmolenko picks up for Ukraine midway inside the Scotland half. It's a big switch from Andrei Yarmolenko. Out to the left-hand side, Mikalenko to Mudryk, who's driving at the Scottish box. He shoots! Gordon saves! The rebound drops behind for the corner. And it's another opportunity for the Ukrainians. 3 minutes into the second half, 0-0.
Well, it's a sensational hit from Mudryk. He cuts in on his right foot. He's so quick, and he hits an absolute stinger of a shot. Craig Gordon got a really, really strong wrist and hand to it, and we were lucky actually that when it did bounce, they weren't able to kind of get there quick enough and capitalise on it, but they do have the corner.
Thought it was going to drop to Yarmolenko, would have had a tap it. Yeah. In swinging corner coming up from this near side for the Ukrainians. Ukraine supporters sense something might be in the offing for them here. In comes the corner. Diving header away is a good one from Callum McGregor. And then Porteous is brought to the ground by Mudryk, who is on a yellow card. Fraser coming forward into the feet of Callum McGregor, but he loses it on this near side. And then it breaks back to Ryan Fraser because John McGinn's won it back. Here's Callum McGregor, little ball for Jack. Jack sidesteps away from Stepanenko and rolls it out wide to Hickey. Hickey then looks up and it's a floaty delivery away back out to this near side for Fraser. To Taylor, to Ryan Fraser again. Fraser looking up at his options, chip ball into the box. The goalkeeper will flop onto it though. 49 played 0-0.
It's actually quite a clever wee ball in there from Ryan Fraser, put it into a good area. Kenny McLean didn't gamble, and G. Adams was the only other player in the box, but I felt as though it was a dangerous enough delivery. We just didn't have anybody anticipating it.
Ukraine fans are bouncing in the stands as they try and will their team on to all 3 points that would see them promoted back to League A. They were relegated last time, finishing bottom of their group. There's the guaranteed Euro 2024 playoff. It's a long ball. Hickey wrong side of Mudryk initially. Mudryk's in possession. He's just dancing around the edge of the penalty area. Rolls it back the way. Inatenko shoots and Gordon holds on. down to the right, and the looks of anguish amongst the supporters around us. Surely one of these is going to go in at one point. 0-0, 50 played.
It took a deflection, and Craig Gordon does really, really well. Slippery night to hold on to it. Just wondering if that's an injury. Is it Aaron Hickey?
It's Hickey again, yeah.
Yeah, I think that would have been when the ball was played over the top. He was having a good old tussle with Mudryk.
Well, he's had some serious injury problems in this international triple header, Aaron Hickey.
Well, going back to the tackle before all that happened.
Mudryk.
Yeah, I mean, it's on a booking. And it's a blatant foul.
They've not even gone back to it.
No, they haven't. Again, you'd think that's something that maybe VAR would have thought about looking at. The, you know...
We could have 3 red cards tonight.
That one was just another example of that. He's on a booking and it's a clear foul on Porteous. Let's hope Hickey's all right here.
Well, he's been taken off the pitch and he's walking very heavily.
I think it's his arm.
Yeah, it looked like his left shoulder was causing the initial problem, but he's walking very uncomfortably as he's ushered off the pitch. So Scotland are down to 10 right now. 51 on the clock. They do have Anthony Ralston on the bench. Should they have to make a change, he's stretching that arm out. Seeing if he's going to be able to come back on. He's certainly wanting to. If he can, it's a long ball, evades Adams and it breaks to Zavani, who plays it across his own 18-yard line for Matvienko. Approaching 52, it's 0-0, but Ukraine have already had another couple of opportunities in the second half to add to the 3, maybe even 4 really good opportunities they had in the first half of the game.
Is Hickey back on?
Yep, back on the far side. It's a long one for Yarmolenko to chase. All eyes on the linesman. Up goes the flag again. Eventually. I think we're just going to have to get used to it.
Yeah, it takes a bit of getting used to, right enough.
This is Sports Sound, BBC Radio Scotland on digital, 810 medium wave, BBC Radio Scotland extras in your smart speaker, bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland. The final Nations League match here, Nations League B Group 1. The domestic action returns this weekend and it begins with Hearts against Rangers at Tynecastle on Saturday lunchtime. The weekend, everything covered here on Sports Sound. Scotland in possession. It is Ryan Fraser trying to get it to Hickey. Out goes Mikalenko to play it out for a throw. This will be Scotland's, certainly in the schedules, it's their last game until March when the Euro 2024 qualifying campaign gets underway. There might be a friendly next month. I think there might have to be. I read that you've got to have 10 fixtures. And this is Scotland's 9th of the calendar year. As McLean picks up on the near side. Under pressure. He was from Timchik, it's now back with McGregor, chips it forward and it's headed away by Stepanenko. Ukraine in possession, it's a foul by McLean. The referee's going to allow the advantage here. Porteous is stopped, he's looking at the linesman and up goes the flag again to deny Dovbyk as he raced in on Gordon. This could be a long second half for the Scotland fans, I'm just thinking.
Yeah, but we've already managed to kind of waste 8 minutes of it. And just the amount of times we can just slow the game down, frustrate them.
Anthony Ralston's doing a pretty intense warm-up down there. I don't know how much longer Hickey's got in this game. We'll keep an eye on that. As Hendry picks up on the right-hand side. Looks up, long ball for Adams. Adams with a little touch back. He bounces back off a Ukrainian knock. And then it's slipped back to Andrei Lunin, the goalkeeper. The understudy to Thibaut Courtois at Real Madrid. Scotland win it back in the far side. Jack's a good ball towards Adams, but just didn't get to him. Ukraine clear, controlled by Yarmolenko. Back to Stepanenko, who fires it forward, and Porteous gets there before it was going to fly past him into the path of Dovbyk again. Here goes Callum McGregor up the other end. Left angle of the box, rolls it back to his clubmate Taylor, who finds McLean. Low ball in field to Jack. To McLean again. Out to McGregor on the near side. Goes back to Kenny McLean, and he in turn goes back to Jack. It's under pressure from Malinovsky.
That's fine, just keep it.
Moved it back to Porteous. The edge of his own box. No goals in Krakow. It's Ryan Porteous in possession. Now McGregor sidesteps himself away from his man and rolls it to McLean. Out to Taylor, back to Porteous. And then to Jack Hendry. It can sometimes be difficult if you know a draw's enough. Sometimes difficult to know how to manage the game. You don't want to take risks. Steve Clarke told us in the wake of the Ireland match that he was coming here to win, keep the momentum going, win a 4th successive game, if at all possible.
It's a good spell of possession this for Scotland. Really good. You don't need to force it. Don't go forward if you don't have to.
Plays it up the line for Hickey, but it's gone off him last and out for a Ukraine throw-in on the far side, and then Mykolenko pushes Aaron Hickey. Now he's on a yellow card as well, isn't he, Mykolenko? Mudryk got one, Yarmolenko got
I think he was
one.
just...
Yeah, it was, yeah.
He's frustrated with Aaron Hickey, obviously wasting time. You're holding on to the ball, which is what you got to do. Game management.
Just double checking that, beg your pardon, it was Mudryk, Yarmolenko and Inatenko. Of course the Yarmolenko and Inatenko ones were possible reds rather than yellows. As Zabarny picks up on the near side. Low ball out to this touchline for Timchik, who goes back to Zabarny. 56 on the clock. A wet night in eastern Poland. It's Ukraine in possession. It's a chip ball forward by Zabarny. Greg Taylor keeps his eyes on it. He's got Yarmolenko giving him some company now, but Taylor sees it over the line for a throw-in down on this near side. It's level with his own 18-yard line on the main stand side. Throw-in from Taylor up the line for McLean, but that's gone out for a Ukraine throw-in down on this near side. Ball back to Zabarny, who then squares it to Matvienko just outside the centre circle in the Ukraine half. Short ball to Zabarny, out to Stepanenko on the near side. Left-footed long ball forward. Porteous gets his head onto it, but it's touched back into the midfield here for Inatenko. He got it from Timchik, now wide in the left, Mudryk. Mudryk looks up, fires the ball into the Scottish box. Diving headed away by Hendry. Inatenko picks up again, he finds Timchik. Looks up at the Scotland box. He's moving towards it slowly. Outside of the boot to the right for Zavarnier, and then back in field for Timchik. Now he's running at the Scottish defence. His ball across, cut out by McGregor. Second chance for Ukraine. The cross comes in, too high for Mudryk, and it sails behind for a goal kick. 57.5 on the clock. Ukraine 0, Scotland 0.
Yeah, just overhit the cross there. Mudryk had wandered in from the left-hand side into a narrower position. A foot too high for him. And again, we can just use this to waste more minutes. Not far off 60 minutes now.
It's just 2 defeats in their last 15 games for Ukraine since their Euro 2020 exit at the hands of England in Rome. Of course, Scotland inflicted one of those defeats on them, the other being Wales in that World Cup playoff final. As Porteous gets his head onto it. McGregor's header's dreadful, and it's gone back here for Dovbyk. McGregor reacts very well indeed, though. He atones for his mistake. He's gone down as well. He'll get a free kick for that. Fair play to Callum McGregor, because it was a really poor pass initially.
Well, he tries to cushion header it, but gets it all wrong, and it nearly put Dovbyk clean through. But McGregor's pace gets him back goal side, and he manages to then draw a foul out of him. Good recovery from him, an early moment.
Nations League B Group 1 drawing to a close tonight. In fact, we'll know what's going on, because this is the final night of the Nations League for the 22-23 campaign. The finals for the Nations League, of course, take place next June, and the teams who are in that will be put into 5-team groups for Euro 2024 qualifying, so they can play that finals competition next summer. Double headers in March, June, September, October, November for Scotland. And here comes Mudryk for Ukraine. Level with the edge of the centre circle in the Scotland half. He goes back to Malinovsky. He's done well again. He's away from Jack. Now he's away from McGregor. He slipped it through. Dovbyk's in! Brilliant challenge from Jack Hendry. But the flag's gone up again anyway.
Yeah,
I thought he looked
borderline. Yeah, I thought he looked borderline offside, Liam, but a really good pass through to him. And actually the recovering tackle from Jack Hendry was absolutely superb. He's had a great triple header. He really has, and matured into this national team. His pace is just so quick. And again, the recovery tackle was a last-ditch tackle, but he was offside, so if the linesman had spotted it straight away, flag it up.
Gordon with a short free kick to Hendry. There's going to be plenty more moments like that between now and full time. We're on the hour now though in Krakow. 0-0, Scotland give it away again. Here's Yarmolenko in the centre circle. Rolls it to his left for Stepanenko. He's over on the touchline on the far side. Back the way it goes to Matvienko, who squares it to Zabarnier. It's a long ball from him out to this near side. Getting his head onto it is Timchik, but it's straight to Jack Hendry. He rolls it out for a throw-in to Ukraine midway inside the Scotland half on this near side. Quick throw-in's gone straight to Kenny McLean. That allows the Norwich man to clear. Adams picks up, brilliantly done by Adams. Held onto the ball, releases it back into the midfield, but Ryan Jack's giving it away. There's a chip ball forward, but it's going to go right through to Craig Gordon. It was Mikalenko's pass, which Ryan Jack gave it straight to him, and it was a clip ball forward, looking to spring the Scottish defence again. It stays 0-0.
Yeah, he'd, thankfully for us, come towards the ball rather than in behind. I think the ball...
Hickey's in trouble. Yeah, you would think so. Yeah, Aaron Hickey lost the battle over there with Mudryk, and he picks up a yellow. He was pulling away at him, and that is a free kick over on the touchline on the far side.
It's not a bad foul to give away, because he knew he'd been caught wrong side, and with the pace that Mudryk has, he'd have been away.
61.5 on the clock. Ukraine 0, Scotland 0 is a scoreline. If it is full time, that scoreline, Scotland top this Nations League section. Set the tone for the next few years for the national side. The stakes are huge. Free kick Ukraine. Midway inside the Scotland half, over on that left flank. It's Malinovsky with it, into the box it comes! Oh, it's over the bar! It dropped on the 6-yard line for Zabarnier, who's on the slide, and he's put it high over the bar. 62 played, Ukraine 0, Scotland 0. But Ukraine are going to score from one of these opportunities.
Oh, let's hope not, but I mean, that was another huge opportunity. The quality of the ball in was sensational. Missed everyone, and in at the back post, Zabarnier, he's sliding, but he really should be hitting the target. Lifts it high over the bar again. We're giving away possession too easily.
That's Porteous with a strong intervention on Dovbeck at the edge of the box as Gordon picks up and rolls it to his left for Taylor. Greg Taylor forward to McGregor. McGregor's long ball, Adams will give chase. He's been on the periphery of proceedings though as Che Adams since that opportunity for him in the first couple of minutes of the game. Played 63. No goals as yet. Long ball from Mikalenko up towards halfway. Cushion header from Hendry. Stepanenko gets his head onto it. Hendry up into the air. A little flick, but he's lost it. And now it's Ukraine in possession, and Malinovsky rolls it to Timchik. It goes across halfway. Yarmolenko to his right. Yarmolenko, first time looking to return it to Timchik. He's overhit the pass though, and it goes behind for a goal kick. Ukraine 0, Scotland 0.
Yeah, thankfully for us, you could tell straight away that Yarmolenko had put too much on that. It's not going to stay in the pitch on an even like tonight when it's been teeming with rain for about the last hour. Thankfully for us, it goes out, and again, Craig Gordon, just take as much time as you want with this.
Maybe get to Willie Miller at the next stoppage in play, see what he's making of things, watching it in the studio in Glasgow as Porteous picks up at the edge of his own box. Low ball to the left here for Taylor. Again, he gave it away, but he's fortunate it bounced back off Timchik and out for a Scotland throw-in on this near side. A lot of sloppy play recently.
Yeah, I mean, at times we're giving away possession too easily. Unforced errors a lot of the time as well. Not under massive pressure and just handing the ball back to Ukraine.
There's McGinn though for Scotland to Adams. First time he was looking for Fraser. Don't need to rush things, Scotland, tonight. Ukraine clear. Picked up by Yarmolenko, but it's a foul on Porteous.
He's good at that. He's good at that. He buys fouls. Very theatrical fall after he headed the ball there. But again, it eats up time, so keep them coming.
Yes, he upset Jim Goodwin, didn't he? A couple of weekends
he wasn't
ago.
Happy, Jim.
Yeah. And talking of Jim Goodwin, next year it'll be 10 years since Stephen, Jim and John McGinn, Kenny McLean out there tonight won the League Cup. As Callum McGregor picks up for Scotland, chip ball into the Ukraine box is headed away. Collected here by Greg Taylor. He looks down the line, looking for McLean, who's offside. Flag was up instantly this time. Ukraine 0, Scotland 0.
Yeah, Kenny, it was the right idea. The movement was decent, but he just strayed a touch early.
Let's get to Willie Miller, who's watching this, and see what Willie's making of the second half. Willie, are you sitting comfortably?
Liam, it's been a real struggle in the second half, hasn't it? The good news is that although Ukraine have created a number of chances.
Sorry, Willie, Lunin, the
bother.
goalkeeper, you'll see it in a second. He's just blasted it straight off Che Adams, I think it was. It's broken to Ryan Fraser on the far side. Plays it to Hickey, driving forward into the box. Hickey to the byline. There's the challenge. There's the Scotland corner, right in front of the Tartan Army. Willie Miller.
Yeah, we could be doing with a little bit more of that. You know, actually seeing Scotland playing in the final third and creating an opportunity, although they were handed the opportunity there. It's been a difficult watch. You know, they haven't controlled the second half at all and rode their luck on a number of occasions. We can only hope that that will continue.
They've got a corner here with Scotland. John McGinn to take. To see in that corner where the Tartan Army are housed here in Krakow. McGinn, and it comes towards the back end of the box, headed away, breaks to Callum McGregor, hoists it back in. The goalkeeper should have that, and he does. And it stays Ukraine 0, Scotland 0 to approach the final quarter, a minute away from the final quarter of this game.
It's ticking down, Liam. Yeah, I mean, that was just a bit too floaty there from Callum McGregor. It gave the opportunity for Lunin to come out and grasp it, no pace on the cross.
Right on this near side with Timchik, and he rolls it back the way to Zabarnie. Short ball, Inatenko. Back to Zabarnie on the near side, rolls it out wide right. Timchik is driving forward, he's in behind Callum McGregor. Low ball to the edge of the Scotland box, but straight to Porteous, who clears. Scotland get it away. Now it's Adams on the turn. Ryan Fraser's an option to his right. He's decided to roll it out to Hickey instead, though he's behind Fraser. Hickey has it. Infield here to Ryan Jack. Jack to the edge of the penalty area. Out to Fraser. Low ball's cut out. It's bounced off Fraser. Behind for a goal kick. 0-0.
Really good build-up play from Scotland. It really was, and unlucky there, Ryan Fraser. He goes to cross it. It ricochets off the defender. Instead of going out for a corner, it comes back off of him. And a by kick to Ukraine.
The seconds ticking down. Not fast enough for the Tartan Army's liking, though. It's been a testing night in Krakow.
I mean, we've not played well, but you know, that's not going to be the story of the match if it stays like this. Creatively, as a force going forward, we haven't done enough, but that was never the objective tonight. The objective tonight is to keep the ball out of our goal, and so far we've managed to do that.
Only just.
Yeah.
It's going to be a triple change coming, I'm hearing. I'm not sure who for. Is Scotland? Yes, Scotland. Armstrong, Christie and Kingsley are all about to come on for the Scots. Fraser wins it back in the midfield from Inatenko. It's now with John McGinn. Ryan Jack to his right. Jack has it. He's at the edge of the Ukraine box. Right hand side of it. His cross is blocked and it bounces back off him. Breaks the way of Hickey. To Jack again. Low ball. John McGinn in the 18-yard line. It's back to goal, and then Callum McGregor shoots and it comes off the defender. And it will be a Scottish corner down on this near side as Steve Clark makes his first changes. I think he'll wait till after this corner, though.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Again, it's slightly better from Scotland in terms of the build-up play. John McGinn just laying it off at the edge of the box and reflection taking it over.
They could do with that goal, couldn't they?
Yeah, but I like how they're just taking their time for this corner as well. It's good experience from Scotland, that.
69th minute of the game, 0-0. Ryan Fraser to take the corner, in swinger with the right foot coming up on this near side. Scotland attack the goal to the left, and it comes, it's come off a Ukraine defender. Did it come off the arm though? They're asking the question of the Scotland supporters. A few of the players are as well. If it has come off the arm, we'll know about it soon.
I think his arm was down by his side though, that's the...
Long ball, Lunin holds on to it, stays 0-0, 70th minute now.
Yeah, it looked as though it definitely came off, close to his arm anyway, but his arm was certainly not in an unnatural position. It was down by his side. I think the referee called that one correct.
Ukraine in possession, and Zabarnie through it comes for Dovbyk. Is he on or off? He's through now, right hand side of the box. It's Dovbyk. He's away from one defender, it's away from the second, and then the little dink towards goal.
Flag stayed down.
Held onto by Gordon. He was onside this time.
Well, that's pretty poor from us to allow him the opportunity to get in from one pass, and he was clean through. And again, he doesn't get his shot away. He's not the quickest at all, and he really should be shooting on his right foot there. That opened up for him superbly, but he tries to chop back in, and it allows our defenders to get back in.
replays apparently say he's offside, so it would have been...
Well, the lines and flags didn't go up. Maybe he's just in the advantage rule.
Scotland have a throw-in over on the far side. We're about to enter the final 20 minutes here in Krakow. And we're into it now. It goes out for a throw-in on the far side for Aaron Hickey to take. The Scotland subs are down there waiting patiently. Stephen Kingsley among them. He's been superb for Hearts since he got his move. He's only got one cap, Stephen Kingsley, and it came when he was at Swansea, when he was played against France in a pre-Euro 2016 friendly for the hosts of that competition in Metz. That's going back 6 and a bit years. As Ukraine lose the possession over on the far side, it'll be a Scotland throw-in eventually, but here come the changes first. Greg Taylor will be replaced by Kingsley. It's the first of the 3 changes. Another few seconds just ebb away as well while these subs are made.
Yeah, exactly.
So Kingsley for Taylor. The other one is going to be Ryan Fraser replaced by Ryan Christie, and Stuart Armstrong's going to come on as well. See who that will be, Kenny McLean or...
I would imagine it might be. Yeah. Fraser's worked hard, but he's not really managed to kind of...
It's not the spark.
He's not had that spark that he had coming on as a substitute against the Irish.
Perhaps perhaps Ryan Fraser's better suited to coming off the bench in these kind of matches, but I think he was always going to start. Such was his impact in the last 2. As Christie comes on, are they going to make the Armstrong change now?
I don't know, it's strange.
A bit of confusion down there.
Not flashed up the number.
Well, on comes Armstrong now, and it's Ryan Jack who's going on.
There.
So Kenny McLean drops back a bit, and Armstrong...
That will suit Kenny more.
Yeah.
I've always kind of found it difficult out on this left-hand side this evening.
0-0 is the score. Just to repeat, a draw is enough for Scotland tonight. They don't need to win this game. Don't need to go chasing a goal. Ukraine do. Here's Adams. Good take there by Adams, and then spin, works it out wide right, and Armstrong's first pass is straight to Mikalenko, and it goes off him and out for a throw-in on the far side to the Scots. Slowed things down a little bit. It was getting a little bit hairy for a while there.
Yeah, I mean,
it will again, I'm sure.
It's been a testing second half, as it was for large spells of the first half, but we have managed to take the sting out of the game.
Throw-in taken by Hickey on the far side. It's actually going to break back to Jack Henry. Lets it go out for another throw over there. You just hope that we don't see the mirror image of last Wednesday's game at Hampden, where Scotland missed all those opportunities and then eventually started running amok in the final 15-20 minutes of the game. You hope that doesn't happen this evening, but in reverse with the Ukrainians this time.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt they've had, well, at least 5, I would say, really good opportunities. We have rode our luck. Craig Gordon's had a couple of saves, routine saves, you would have to say, for him. But you're going to, I mean, you're playing against a team who know they have to win the game, so they're going to be throwing everything at it.
A couple of changes coming up for Ukraine as well. Scotland pick up Kingsley. First touch as an international player in 6 and a bit years for the Hearts defender. Hendry out wide right for Hickey. Sidesteps away from his man and rolls it back the way to Hendry. Forward towards McGinn, but it's given away, and Scotland win it back immediately, and it's good play by McLean. Initially he's gone down, and Ukraine have it back. Kenny McLean gave it away, and it's the Ukrainians trying to buy a free kick in the middle of the Scottish half there. It was Dovbek who hit the deck. Referee's not interested. Here's Adams slipping and sliding down on the wet surface down there. He's done brilliantly again though. Held it up and releases it to McGinn in the central area. Back to McGregor and then out to Hickey over on that far side. 2-2 in the other game in the group, by the way. Ireland-Armenia. As McLean fires it out to Kingsley. 2 goals in 3 minutes for the Armenians, I'm hearing. As Armstrong plays it forward, it comes off Timchik, then back off Armstrong and out for a Ukraine throw-in. And the changes are going to be made here by Alexander Petrakov as he tries to find the goal. And well, like for like, Dovbek's coming off. Yaremchuk's going to come on to replace him. So he's a striker, Yaremchuk, coming on. I thought they might leave the 2 of them on actually there.
Yeah, I don't think Dovbek's had a great match, to be honest with you. I think he's been wasteful.
Tsigankov's the other one to come on. It's Ukraine here who are in possession. Short ball as it comes back the way to this near side for Ukraine with Stepanenko. He's midway inside his own half here as he squares it there to Zabarnie. The clock shows there's only 15 minutes plus stoppage time left. It's 0-0 here. It is Ukraine with Zabarnie just at walking pace up towards halfway. Long ball again. They've got some joy from that tonight, but Hickey's done well just to keep Tsigankov at bay.
He managed to run very, very well, and then has the composure to allow it to bounce through to Craig Gordon. He'll waste a few more seconds here.
Viktor Tsigankov of Dynamo Kiev coming on. And Yaremchuk, who video of him went viral actually when he was at Benfica last season. He came off the bench just after the invasion of his country started. He was very emotional as he came off the bench in that match. It is Ukraine in possession here with Stepanenko. Moving it back the way. And it's a long one from Matvienko out that left-hand side. The first touch wasn't great, and it's put behind for the corner by Hickey. Under pressure, severe pressure from Mikolenko.
Yeah, the pass was excellent. Mikolenko's touch just allowed Aaron Hickey to get back goal side. Showed his pace, but he's put it out for a corner.
The problems from set plays themselves, Scotland recently. John Egan scored for the Irish on Saturday night. Off the back of a corner, they failed to clear. Here it comes from the left-hand side, outswinger into the penalty area. The target, Stepanenko, headed away by Christie. Cushion header back the way to Matvienko, left of the centre circle. And he moves it back to Andrei Lunin. 77 minutes played. Ukraine 0, Scotland 0. Here's Matvienko squaring it to Zabarnie. They've had so many chances, Ukraine. They won a couple of matches. The opportunities they've had. Is it Scotland's night? It's forward towards Yaremchuk, and it's a lovely ball out wide right for Yarmolenko, level with the 6-yard line, pulls it back, and Scotland clear. Callum McGregor was in the right place. The Scots booted away.
I mean, I personally thought it was the wrong choice from Yarmolenko. He's got 4 bodies in the box. Try and pick somebody out. He's just put it into an area, and you're right, Callum McGregor, right place, right time to get it clear.
Lyndon Dykes is going to be on before too long for Scotland. He's waiting on the touchline. Here come the Ukrainians. Mikolenko is ball in, headed away by Hendry. Breaks to Yarmolenko. Controls with the undersole of the left foot and chips the ball into the Scotland box. Headed away by Hendry. Oh, there's an effort which passes wide. The Scottish defence stopped and watched as Stepanenko lash for goal. And he goes behind for the goal kick and stays Ukraine 0, Scotland 0. Lady Luck may not have been Steve Clarke's friend over the last week or so with injuries and suspensions and illness, but she's certainly smiling down on him tonight so far as we approach the final 10 minutes of this. Adams off, Dykes on.
That was incredible, that. I mean, the ball got headed up into the air, and every single one of our defenders stood and watched it as Stepanenko ran from the edge of the box. He really should be hitting the target again. It's another big, big miss.
G. Adams off. And on comes Lyndon Dykes. Craig Gordon with the long left-footed ball up towards the halfway line. Header forward there by Malinovsky onto the chest of Yaremchuk. He gets it back to Yarmolenko on the near side. Yaremchuk has it again. He's got away from Gordias. He's driving forward into the box, and covering is Jack Hendry. Magnificent defending. Gets the ball to the corner flag and clears. Lyndon Dykes doing a good defensive job himself as Scotland win a free kick down there. They foul on Kingsley, and it will be a free kick to the Scots. Fitzmclean, who's been brought down.
Yeah, it was Kenny. A really good play again, Jack Hendry. He spots the danger. Porteous gets done, and he's over in a flash to clear it. Again, his pace is brilliant, but his positional sense there to spot the danger early was really vital.
Ukraine fans not happy with the length of time Craig Gordon's taken to take this free kick here. 30 seconds away from the last 10 minutes. Gordon's long ball from the free kick. Dykes wins the header, flicks on. It's cleared though by Zabarnie. Little header from Porteous, but it's been straight to Tsigankov. The challenge from Hickey. Ukraine still have it, but I think he's going to bring it back for the free kick on Aaron Hickey. Just to the right of the centre circle. Scotland have a free kick.
Definite foul on Aaron Hickey. He gets there right before the Ukrainian player clips his heels. And again, will be no rush or no. He's taking it quickly as Callum McGregor.
It's just what he does, though, isn't it? His club
Yeah,
are
so used to
it.
Yeah, that's right.
Played out to the right for Armstrong. He wins a throw-in level with the penalty spot. The clock shows 80 minutes here in Krakow. 0-0.
Too early to take it into the corner, Liam?
Surely it is.
I don't think it's ever too early. You need the 0-0.
Throw-in level with the penalty spot over on that right-hand side. Goal back by Nikita McGregor. He wins another throw. That's perfectly done by Callum McGregor. He'd be happy with that. Hickey over this throw-in as well. We'll just level the edge of the Ukraine box. No, I thought he was going to take the long one. He's taking it shorter there to John McGinn, who picks it up. He's down by the corner flag, looking to try and win a corner if he can. And goal kick.
Come off him.
It's come off him, last, says the linesman. Very dramatically pointed his flag at the 6-yard box for the goal kick. 0-0, it stays here.
Yeah, but just in that kind of 40-second spell there, we've managed to keep the ball down on that right-hand side of the pitch, and that's what we've got to do. See out this next 10 minutes.
And suddenly the next few years of international football come down to these last 10 minutes. Just under that now. It's picked up by Zabarny on this near side. Short ball to Timchuk. Gets it through the legs of Christie. Finds Yarmolenko. Yarmolenko moves it back into the midfield for Stepanenko. We've got a couple on their bike down this right-hand side. Long ball, underneath it is Porteous, and he does well. Just cushion the header back to Craig Gordon. Rivals in the capital.
I mean, nobody's going to care.
Porteous and Gordon.
Yeah, nobody's going to care or remember this performance. The performance has been poor, but it really is not about the performance tonight. It is 100% about not losing the match. And we're minutes now away from achieving that.
Yeah, heading towards the final 8 minutes plus injury time. Ukraine in possession, left of the centre circle, the ball to Yaremchuk, and he flicks it forward, but it's going straight to Kingsley. No, it was good initially from Kingsley, but he's given it away, and now Yaremchuk out here to this right-hand side for Yarmolenko. Driving down the right, level with the Scottish 6-yard line. Now he's at the byline. Good recovery challenge there by Kingsley. And able to get it away. Eventually down on this near side, but it's only as far as Timchuk, who'll move it back the way to this near side. And Ukraine in possession. Natenko's going to get onto it here, and it's a little ball for Malinovsky, who's now got it into his feet and he's moving forward. The clock ticking down. Malinovsky to the box. Yaremchuk tries to move it back the way. And Scotland dig it out once again. Callum McGregor, and here's McGinn, who goes down and wins the free kick right in front of the referee. Mikalenko then launches a volley of abuse at the Greek ref, and it stays Ukraine 0, Scotland 0, with the clock ticking down ever so slowly right now.
It was clever from Johnny. Felt the slightest of touches from the Ukrainian midfielder, and down he went.
Scotland have it wide on the right with Lyndon Dykes. So nicked off a note by Matvienko. It's now with Mikalenko, and then Dykes is going to be yellow carded there as well. It's an off the ball challenge on Matvienko. It's going to be a free kick just to the edge of their own box for Ukraine. 7.5 minutes to go. In fact, 6.5 now. Plus injury time, so probably another 10 minutes left of this match.
I thought so, yeah, Liam.
Scotland very close now, very, very close. It's moved out to Timchuk on this near side. Plays it forward straight to Kingsley. Gets a touch onto it, moves it forward to Christie. Out to Kingsley. It's gone over the line though. Ukraine have a throw in just inside the Scotland half though. Timchuk did take it inside his own territory, but the referee, as you can hear in the background, is whistling manically.
I think there was another wee kind of off the ball type incident there between the substitute and Ryan Porteous.
Yeah, Yaremchuk, the big striker. There is Ukraine in possession. Zabarny, short ball to Matvienko, gets it back, looks up, low ball forward. It's gone straight to Porteous though. Porteous then with a long ball towards Dykes. Can Dykes keep it in play? Yes, he can. It's good play there by Dykes. Down on this left-hand side. And then he wins the throw-in off Timchuk on this near side.
Yeah, the ball to him was a difficult one. He really had to push to try and keep it in play, controls it, wins the throw-in. More seconds wasted. I think it's now time to take it into the corner, Liam, officially.
I think it's probably fair to do that now. 85 minutes on the clock. 0-0. Here's Christie. Got it from the Short throw in from Kingsley. It's now with McGregor, who squares it to the right for Hickey, pushes it forward to Armstrong, and it's evaded McGinn, but it does find McLean, and now it's Christie out wide left for Kingsley. Kingsley looks up to a useful ball in, but Lunin will gather in the 6-yard line. The final 5 minutes of the 90 here in Krakow. It is goalless. Scotland so nearly there. So near yet so far. As Matvienko picks it up, moves it to his left for Mikalenko, up onto halfway. The ball forward from Tsigankov. Yaremchuk trying to get it into his stride. Hendry's there again though. Goes back to Gordon. Not the best clearance in the world, but McGregor's made it look like one. Little nonchalant flick into the middle for McLean. Scotland with a long ball forward out to that far side, and Ukraine have it back. 0-0.
Yeah, I don't want to curse it. I'm not even going to acknowledge the scoreline right now.
Scotland fans are not making too much noise at the moment. Little wonder the nails are being bitten. I can't stress enough how important it is the Scots leave here with a draw at least. Here's Yarmolenko though for Ukraine. He's got other ideas. The Ukraine skipper down the right hand side runs into trouble. It's a good challenge by Kingsley. Breaks back here to McLean. Forward towards Dykes, holding it up brilliantly well. He's gone down. That'll be a free kick to Scotland. Eats up another few seconds. He's done brilliantly since he's come on, actually, Lyndon Dykes.
He has. His hold-up play is a key strength of his game, and on that occasion when Kenny played it into his feet, he wasn't favourite, but he gets his body in front of the centre half, rolls him, wins the free kick.
Malinovsky's come off to be replaced by Pekalnok, who started the game last week, and Zubkov's also come on to the pitch as Ukraine try and find this winner that they need. Yarmolenko comes off as well. 0-0. 3 minutes left now. Ryan Porteous for the free kick, right footed towards this left hand side. Cushion header forward by Ukraine by Timchik, and then McLean attacks it with the head, and it goes out for a throw in on this near side to the Ukrainians. Timchik is over it. It's level with his own penalty spot. Ukraine need the ball up the other end of the pitch. Scotland very happy to play the game in Ukraine's half right now. John McGinn forward towards Dykes, got a bit lucky as McGinn wins it back. Now Christie left hand side of the box. Does he go to the corner flag? He would expect him to. That's what he's trying to do, and he's won a throw in down here on the near side, level with the Ukraine 6-yard line. As we approach 88 minutes.
Stop it, Liam. Stop reading out the time.
Well, you've got to on radio, because you don't have the little score and clock in the corner of your radio, do you?
No, you don't. You don't.
Here come the Scots. Here's Christie. Back out to Kingsley on this near side. McLean to Christie. Back out towards Kingsley. It's gone out though for a Ukraine throw-in.
The last 5 minutes or 10 minutes at least, you know, we really have done well to stifle them. We've kept the ball in good areas. I think the substitutes have made an impact that have come on.
Yep, but here come Ukraine. Tsigankov out to the left-hand side. It's Mikalenko driving forward. Zubkov's made his move to the edge of the area. Yaremchuk's in there as well. Short ball to Zubkov. Comes back the way into the midfield. And it's picked up by Inatenko. Then out to this near side for Zabarny. Tony Ralston's waiting to come on. We're approaching minute 90. It's Ukraine attacking though. To the edge of the box, Yaremchuk. Out to Timchik on this near side. The challenge comes from Christie, but it breaks Ukraine's way. Now it's the Ukrainians in possession with Matvienko out to the left-hand side. Everyone bar Andrei Lunin, the Ukraine goalkeepers in the Scotland half here. As we go into the 90th minute, 0-0. But it is Ukraine in possession on this near side. Tsigankov tries to get it back at the edge of the box. He has done so. Little back heel, little challenge at the edge of the area. Oh, no. I think the ball was won there. There's a big shout for a penalty. Wagging the finger from the referee. Corner only to Ukraine. If it was a penalty, we'll know about it very soon.
Well, you'd imagine this might go to VAR. My initial thought was that maybe Porteous had caught him. He stayed down.
Well, I don't know if Willie Miller's been able to see a replay of that. Can we go to Willie?
Yeah, we're just looking at the challenge. Yeah, I think they're going to have a look at it. You know, the tackle goes in. I think it gets the ball though. But it's one of the ones, Liam, that they're going to have to look very closely at.
It's a yellow card for someone on the Ukraine bench. When the ref gave the corner rather than the penalty, they were apoplectic down there. Scotland will make the change.
They're not looking at
So
it.
they're not even going to go to a check.
Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it. Right. The Ukrainian who was brought down in the box there is getting some attention. The referee's telling him to get off the pitch. It was Zubkov. So another sigh of relief for the Scotland supporters. We're into injury time. There's going to be 4 minutes added. 4 minutes. We're in the first of those already. Ukraine corner though, as Ralston comes on. His first job's to help defend this corner. One last push for the Scots, but in comes the corner towards the 6-yard area. Scotland get it half away. Nodded header out to this right-hand side. Tsigankov forward and another chance for Ukraine. They're going to have another corner as it comes bouncing off Christie.
This is so nerve-wracking.
Zubkov comes back on. Ukraine's next corner. It's over on this near side. They're right as they attack the goal to the right. Scotland up against the ropes a little bit here. In comes the corners. A header is well wide in the end. Stepanenko, I think it was, who had a really good chance in the first half with a header. Misses this one too. And it stays Ukraine 0, Scotland 0. We played 1 of the 4 minutes of injury time.
Well, that was a slightly more difficult opportunity than one he had in the first half. He really was at full stretch there as he tried to stretch every sinew in his neck to get on the end of that ball, and thankfully for us he couldn't get any real direction because it hits the top of his head and goes out.
Ralston on for Hickey, incidentally. He's putting a shift out on Hickey. He's been taking a couple of hits as well. Gordon hits it long with the left foot. Dykes wins the header. Here's Christie. Christie then out to this near side for Kingsley. Keeps it in well. Forward looking for Armstrong. It's cut out though by Timchik, and out Stepanenko chipping it forward. He's put it straight to Kenny McLean though, who goes long down this near side. The ball played forward by Zabarnier. How's your nerves? 2 minutes of injury time left. Goalless. Ukraine in possession though. Over on that left-hand side with Mikalenko. Forward to Zubkov. Back to Mikalenko, who shifts it into the midfield there for Inatenko. Out it comes to the right-hand side for Zavarnier. Ukraine need a goal. Scotland keeping it out though, and McGinn wins it back brilliantly there in the midfield. And that's Porteous, and he's played it straight out for a Ukraine throw-in. All he needed was a simple ball to his left for Dykes.
He did so well stepping in and driving the first bit. There's something going on here.
Yeah, the referee's over with his yellow card. This time it's being brandished at the Scottish technical area.
I think they were trying to keep the ball in the technical area to waste it a few more seconds.
There's just over a minute left here. Just over a minute left. I have to emphasise again how important it is that Scotland leave here with something. We're in the last minute of injury time. The ball's played forward by the Ukrainians. Callum McGregor tries to win it back, and he's won a throw-in down here on this near side. Another 40-odd seconds if he can stand it here on Sportsound. Ukraine 0, Scotland 0. Throw-in to the Scots to be taken by Kingsley, midway inside his own half. Forward towards Dykes. Out off a Ukrainian head for another Scotland throw-in. The Tartan Army think the job's done. In full voice over there. They'll have a right good night in Krakow when they get out of here. It's not the most expensive place in the world either, which will please them. It's Dykes to Armstrong. Here's McLean. This pass is wayward, but Christie picks it up. They're nearly there. 10 seconds, I make it, are left, and they're playing it in the Ukraine half. Out it goes though for a Ukrainian throw-in.
This has got to be the last. It's got to be the last bit.
Will I make that time up?
Come on,
referee's got the whistle in his lips. Scotland are almost there.
Yes.
They are there! One of the best goalless draws in Scottish international history, because they have been promoted to Nations League A. A massive moment for them. They've also just guaranteed themselves a playoff place for Euro 2024. And that may well stretch into the World Cup as well, who knows? They'll also be in pot 2 for the Euro 2024 qualifying draw, which is made in Frankfurt on October the 9th. Circle that in the calendar as the Scotland supporters celebrate wildly. It wasn't the best performance by any stretch of the imagination. They had to ride their luck time after time, as Ukraine coughed up chance after chance. But they've ground it out somehow. They've ground it out. It got hairy at the end. It got nervy as we approached the 90-minute mark. But Steve Clarke and his players can celebrate this evening, because this is a massive result. It feels like a 0-0 win for Clarke's men down there. All those prizes that will come their way now, because they are going to leave Krakow tonight having dished out some revenge to the Ukrainians who knocked them out of the World Cup in the semi-final playoff. But it is Scotland who finished top of Nations League B Group 1. A fabulous night. Ends Ukraine 0, Scotland 0.
Scotland in the UEFA